I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, all right. Hello. Welcome to the KVJShow After the Show podcast. It is Thursday. I think it's kind of a unofficial beginning to the weekend because there's so much cool stuff going on. You got a Dolphins game on tonight, playing the Buffalo Bills. Any chance your husband would watch that, Virginia?
He won't even go with us to the chocolate place because I was like, hey, I don't know what time we're getting done. He's like, nope, can't risk it. I'm going straight to home to get ready for the Bills game.
I mean, That's his thing.
Yeah.
He loves it.
He does.
Mm-hmm. Stephon Diggs used to play for the Bills. He plays for the Patriots now, but he's going around knocking up Cardi B.
Something happened between him and Josh Allen. They used to be boys.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they weren't boys anymore. And then soon after you saw Josh and you saw Stephon leaving the Bills. Something happened.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it is a really big thing. They talk about you got to develop a rapport and a bit of a chemistry with your receivers. It's all about timing and kind of getting on the same page. And Tua was even saying that he needs to rebuild that with Tyreek Hill because it's kind of been lost a bit. Tyreek popped off at the end of last year, and I think some of the teammates are a little bit mad at him. They didn't vote him a captain this year, and so there's been a little bit of tension. There's not a lot of good things going on with the Dolphins, actually.
You have to have
but there's something to that.
Supportive synergy.
Yes.
Where guys
right.
want to see the other guys on their team win. And otherwise, you got all rogue players looking out for number one. It doesn't work.
And it's weird because some teams, they really have a tough time getting along behind the scenes, but they somehow can pull it together on the field. And I can't think of any baseball team I was not on where someone didn't get into a fist fight or someone tried to choke somebody out on the same team. I just think it happens, especially if egos are clashing and you think someone's kind of loafing and not doing their job, and then they make you look like a shitbag.
Yeah, if you're the quarterback and you keep throwing to this guy and this guy keeps dropping your balls, it's like, dude,
catch the fucking ball.
Catch the fucking ball.
Ken, it's tough. Within football, at least, it seems like a lot of people are aware that it's about culture. You hear about that, and that's just how you do your business. But a lot of the championship teams, a lot of times, will reflect how close they were, how close the locker room was, that they were playing for each other. And
yes.
So that's why they feel that's very important. If there's some person that's in that locker room that is throwing off all of that, then they typically have found now where they'll get rid of them. You know, there's like a player like a Micah Parsons who was on the Cowboys, one of the best defenders in all the NFL, and he just wanted out of there. And they're like, he's going to wreck the whole locker room. And so they did a deal to get him to the Packers, and sometimes you got to do that.
It's tough to deal with a cancer that's infecting the team.
And somebody that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, no, there is. I mean, there's just some professions where you really do. You have to have a synergy. I think we're in one of those fields where you got to have chemistry and a synergy, because I've worked on a show when I was in Kansas City, and the host and co-host hated each other, and it was just terrible. The show wasn't good. They turn off the microphone, start screaming at each other, and it was rough, and it didn't last long.
It is crazy because some people do fake the funk. I mean, that one show, Opie and Anthony, everyone thought they were the closest of friends, and at one point they were, and for a good part of their career, they fucking hated each other. And
that would be so tough.
And all they do now is just shit talk each other. I mean, these guys are in their 60s and did radio together for 20 plus years.
Highly successful. Yeah.
Highly successful.
Yeah, they had a really good run. So
now it's interesting though. Now I would tune in because I want to hear them shit talk each other.
One's doing a lot better than the other.
Oh,
yeah, one's falling apart mentally.
Wow.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, there are other things going on tonight. Boy, if I just had the time and didn't have to work tomorrow, and there wasn't a Dolphins game on. Cage the Elephant plays Hard Rock Live tonight. They're one of my favorite bands.
You love them.
I did, and I was going to see them at Sunfest. And I think it was can't remember what it was. They didn't play, and I can't remember if it was because of COVID that they shut it down, or there was some reason why the Cage the Elephant didn't happen.
Or your wife said, "Nah, we're going to cage the Kevin tonight."
Maybe, yeah. I can't remember what it was all about, but yeah, they're going to be playing at Hard Rock Live tonight, so that will be good. Anybody who's going there. One of our KVJ Nationers saw him last night in Clearwater. They played and sent us some clips. So, yeah, we'll hopefully have some clips of KG Elephant show tomorrow from the show that they're doing tonight. And I did talk to the Queen yesterday, and I'm really trying to work her on that Chris Stapleton show. So, I don't know. I felt like I made a positive inroad. I don't ever get my hopes up because I've been there. I thought I had it all
she didn't give you a hard no.
No. In fact, she was talking about how it might work.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're
Is Caitlin going to go?
I don't know. Her schedule is unpredictable. So I don't know if she knows. I don't know if she cares. And she's kind of gotten to the point that if she doesn't necessarily love an artist, she's not going to go to
It'd
the
be
concert.
fun if we all hooked up, all of us together got to go out to dinner and then to the show. That'd be fun.
Yeah, she might, if she doesn't have to work, she might go if we would take Cannon. So, we're trying to work that all out. Of course, it's, she's talking about going and staying. So it's not going to be easy, but I'm like, you know what? I really want to see this show. So, if I got,
he's just
do some things.
He's a performer that is captivating.
Absolutely.
When you see Chris Stapleton perform, it sucks you in, and there's nobody else in the room. That is a rare thing.
Yeah.
Do you know a Cage the Elephant song called "Tell Me I'm Pretty"?
I don't know that one. No.
Okay, 'cause I thought you were the one that showed it to me, but apparently you're not.
I don't know if I know
See
that
if you
one.
like that one.
Okay. Yeah, they do different stuff. Canadian Bacon saying, are they country music? No, they're not country. They would fit in the alternative genre, but, it's really just rock. There's nothing that's, look, some alternative is really weird, and I get where it's out there, but a lot of alternative is just rock. It's like stuff you play on RMF.
It's rock with a little bit of, honestly, with a little bit of a pop flair sometimes.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's some songs that, they just didn't go mainstream enough, but they wouldn't sound out of place on RMF.
They're earworms. They're good songs.
Yeah.
They for some reason, those kind of songs don't do well out here.
Did they have a radio hit, Cage the Elephant?
No. They haven't. Look, they've had, and there have been some of those, they're on the same wave as like Bastille. They did that song Happier with Marshmello. Baby, I want you to be happier. Yeah, they are, I would say that they're about on the same level as Bastille.
Okay.
Which they're really just a pop rock band. In the 80s, that's what they would have been.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands out there that have massive followings, like the Avett Brothers, Band of Horses. You've heard me and Kevin talk about them. They don't have any radio hits, but they have a shit ton of fans that when they play, they sell out. But for whatever reason, they don't get any airplay.
Politics.
Yeah, I don't get it personally.
Yeah. No, look, like I said, there's a lot of music that I like that's not very popular, and Cage the Elephant would be it. And I don't get it because I think they're a really solid band. The ones that they got so many.
I know for a fact there's songs by the Avett Brothers that we would play on here that people would like, but for whatever reason, they're just not in that machine.
Right. They're not getting the promotion from the record label.
They don't have choruses that just repeat the same 3 words for 3 minutes during the song. They actually have lyrics.
The crazy thing is that works.
Yeah. I know. I'm not fighting it. I just hate it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Stop fighting, old man.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an old thing. I would have hated that at age 21. I don't think it's old. I think it's there's young people I've heard say they don't like that shit either.
So it's not old. You are.
Some people like lyrics. Some people do like when a melody and a lyric matches up nicely, and it's not just fucking brain candy to dance your head off the wall to.
He said their song Ain't No Rest for the Wicked did get played on the radio. Now, some of their stuff, like if they had alternative radio, which we used to, our alternative station in South Florida is gone. So the Shark went under. They turned it into sports, so we don't have any kind of alternative radio. But yeah, it would have been played on the radio on an alternative station.
Okay.
Also tonight, you got Marcelo Hernandez. He's going to be at the Miami Improv. He's the dude that is on Saturday Night Live. He's getting ready to record. I think it's going to be a Netflix special that he is going to be recording at the Olympia Theater Friday and Saturday. So he's warming up at the Miami Improv, try out some last-minute jokes. Our buddy Carlos Mencia is going to be at the Fort Lauderdale Improv tonight through Saturday. So you got some big old comedians, and Tony Hinchcliffe is playing the Broward Center tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you got comedy's your thing, you got a few of those going on this weekend.
When are you going to talk about some comedians?
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I don't. Hinchcliffe's not. I don't know why people love that guy so much. I get he's cutting and he does roast stuff, but I don't get it.
Is that the one that I liked? And you were like mad at me for liking him?
He's not my cup of tea.
He kind of looks like Pete Davidson.
Yeah, I guess.
He's got that swagger.
I think there's definitely some overrated guys out there.
I liked him, and Jay Bird was like, well, you're wrong.
No, I didn't say you're wrong. I just said I didn't like him.
Trying to talk me out of it.
And Tom Segura is playing the Kravis Center tomorrow night. He's kind of a big comedian, right?
He is a big comedian, and the last time we talked about this, people gave me shit, but a lot of his audience has turned on him, and I know people want to fight me on that, but I'm telling you, a lot of his audience has turned on him, and they've turned on Bert Kreischer. They just don't. They got two guys right now that's doing their podcast while they're doing other projects, and some of the audience feels like they became a little out of touch with what got them to the dance, and now they're not the same people, and their hardcore fans are not necessarily happy. Now, I think it's different with their stand-up act compared to a podcast, because, a podcast is different than a stand-up.
Sure. But if they did a podcast for a while and people enjoyed it, and now they're going on the tour and they're not podcasting anymore, and they gave it to some other two dudes.
Well, that's
weird.
I just know because I was talking about this a few months back when it was snowballing, and people like, Jay Bird, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm telling you, if you do the research, people have turned on them.
Interesting.
Also, we talked how Lionel Messi is expected to be signing an extension with Inter Miami, and I appreciate all of the fans of football I am a novice, trying to expand my knowledge of the sport. I've kind of gotten into it after watching some TV shows. That whole Wrexham show was fantastic, and I'm trying to learn some of the teams and how they all kind of do it, so I'm getting more of appreciation for football and enjoying it. And one person who sounds like they know their football said, I would compare Lionel Messi right now to how Michael Jordan was when he played on the Washington Wizards. No one really cares. Just kind of an old dude trying to get some extra cash. And I was like, yeah, but he's kind of leading the MLS in goals, right? I don't know if that means anything. He said, yeah, for his salaries, he better be leading the league. But, he kind of knew, hey, you're getting older and you're going to the MLS, which is not nearly as good of a league as where he had been playing. So you look like a star still. You're going to be that. And then he's kind of doing it for the Apple money that he's got. They have some Inter Miami games where you have to go on Apple TV and I think pay extra to get him. And so I think he gets a cut of that too. So I think his base salary is only like $12 million a year, but with incentives, he gets $20 million. I think his Apple deal maybe almost doubles that. So he's making some cash.
That is cash.
He's doing well.
For a guy that they say is getting older.
Yeah. Got a sweet house right there on the water in Fort Lauderdale. He's got a couple places in Miami, I think. So
he sells a jersey or two for the league.
He does, and look, sometimes you need that. He's brought attention to the MLS, and he's raised the game. So be nice to kind of have him here. He brings excitement to it, and I think that's great to see. Let me see a couple other emails that we got here today. Caitlin sent one in. She said, I'd just like to set the record straight as a mom of 4. Childbirth and labor is quicker the more kids you have because your body knows what to do. It's a dance of muscles and hormones that gets perfected the more times you give birth. It's not because, as Virginia said, the canal is just wider. Sorry, I had to just defend my non-wide canal.
Wow.
She wants the world to know that her vagina is not enlarged.
You really hit a button on that one.
Well, maybe yours isn't, but I know some hookers that got a stretched out puss.
They've got
it happens.
Like a flapjack cookie.
Is it the canal or is it the entrance?
Well, okay, so
is it the curtains going into the
No,
nightclub.
The curtains are irrelevant.
Okay.
To the baby coming out. So,
but I'm just saying what I was talking about with the enlargement.
Yeah, does it turn into roast beef because of the baby?
What I was saying. Yeah, the curtains gotten longer.
That's just gravity and time that make the curtains longer.
So baby's got nothing to do with turning it to roast beef?
Not necessarily, but I mean, I guess you could.
So you're born with the roast beef puss?
Oh, yeah. Your lips can either be really long or really short. That's a thing.
Okay.
There's many different sizes of lips. Look it up.
Mm-hmm. I have.
The thing about after you give birth regular vaginally, a lot of times if you are smaller, you'll rip. And what your OBGYN will do is they will sew you back up.
I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm out.
I didn't think I was going to join you.
You can have 4 kids and still have a...
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay, we get it.
Yeah. That was very unenjoyable.
Yes, it was.
Well, I imagine what it's like to rip.
Oof.
Just for that, I'm going to hit you with some Ed Gein fun facts.
Speaking of
the pain continues.
Speaking of riffing.
Yep. This from Joshua said, Ed Gein didn't kill his mother. He loved his mother. He was a big mama's boy to the point that he was desperate to do things for her. He made suits of skin to bring his mother back through him.
Oh, my gosh.
But I wonder if I got to do a little bit more research on old Ed. I thought his kill count wasn't very high. Thank goodness, because he's a madman. But they all got mommy issues.
Did his mom just die of natural causes and he skinned her and wore her skin?
I'd have to learn more about it, but they'd said he was the inspiration for Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I got to get my facts straight with Ed. It's been a minute. There's so many murderers out there, and it's almost trying to keep them, there's so many stories. Sometimes the facts start to blend together because they're just all so horrific.
Well, it feels like there's just too much of this Ed Gein that we don't know.
He's the new...
He's the new shine.
Well, they're running out of serial killers. I'm telling you. They are. And
this guy has lower numbers, but crazier stuff that he did.
Yeah, I think his story is going to be horrifying. And Kevin's right. It has inspired some of these movies.
Do you think that they've ever had serial killers as a Jeopardy category?
No, I don't, but I could be.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering how many things could you come up with that easily could but have not been a Jeopardy category? Because how many decades have they had that show on?
A long time.
Yeah, I'm always doing categories for random things. But you're like going, I don't know if we should do that. I assume they have their own. Be like going, hey, how about serial killers? Be like, I don't know, maybe kind of dark.
Yeah.
For 7 p.m. as people are getting ready for dinner.
You're right. That's the Wheel of Fortune Jeopardy, happy hour.
This guy skinned his mom alive and then wore her face around town.
Everything we had was just horrific. Every Ed Gein fun fact was the exact opposite of a fun fact.
No fun, all fact.
Terrible.
All right, you know what? I gotta get lean with my Gein.
I think you got to get in there because you're our guy.
Yeah.
If you don't know Ed, we don't know Ed.
There's certain ones that stay with you more too. It's weird. I told you about the BTK.
Yes.
And how he was already creepy and horrifying, but man, the special I saw kind of shook me. And it was during the years when he didn't kill.
Really?
Yes, it was horrifying.
Mm-hmm. Carlos, he sent an email. He said about the Satanist kid from Wednesday. Let's say maybe Cannon. What if he were the Satanist and Kevin had to address the issue? And he would, as he said, listen to Cannon's explanation with an open mind and all. But what if Cannon's argument was so persuasive that he turns Kevin and now the Mexican Queen has 2 devil worshippers to deal with? I could just see it now. That would be something.
The devil is not getting Kevin Ralston. Not at this late date.
I'd be surprised. But look, I continue on my religious path with an open mind, and I am always learning things about my own faith and where the boundaries are of it. So I would welcome the conversation. Honestly, after having that discussion, I realized I don't know much about it. I've read about other religions, but I need to get a little bit more well-versed in all of their beliefs.
But people were saying that, Satanism or whatever is different than worshiping the devil. The email had said that the father heard their son praying to the devil. Mm-hmm. Now, from what we heard yesterday, I guess the devil's cool for some people.
I don't know. I don't subscribe to the devil is cool.
And they were saying we were getting it confused, but in the email, it wasn't just about learning about all that, all that stuff. It was more of him praying to Satan.
Praying is worshiping. So if he's in his room praying to the devil, that to me sounds like, whoa, you're worshiping the devil. I don't know if I can ever get down with that.
That's different.
Yeah, you may already find, depending upon which version he's going, like the Church of Satan, for instance, they say is fundamentally atheistic, rejecting the existence of any divine being. So, I don't know that he would be a member of the Church of Satan because, according to that, it sounds like you wouldn't be praying to anybody because you wouldn't believe in it.
Well, you're not a devil worshiper if you're an atheist, or if you're you're not necessarily you just don't believe in God, or you just don't believe in anything. So that doesn't necessarily mean you love the devil either. And I think people get that mixed up sometimes. And
I've never looked into it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hear sometimes say, I'm an atheist, sometimes people get across thinking you worship the devil, and that's not true.
Well, and that's why if you had a conversation with your kid, you might realize that what he thinks he's doing, he's got that all wrong. It'd be like,
right.
Well, if you're trying to be the best Satanist you can possibly be, according to the Church of Satan, you shouldn't be praying to anybody.
He's probably got his kid sensibilities involved in this new Satan loving agenda. He's probably just doing it for the freak factor and to make his parents go, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it depends on what is he saying to the devil. Hey, devil, could you please make mom and dad disappear? Okay, thank you, son. Like, what's he saying?
If he's saying, can you please make mom and dad disappear? I am removing him from the home and putting him in a facility where he can get help. I don't trust this kid in my house.
Yes.
He's praying to the devil to get rid of mom and dad.
Well, we were just being called out for getting devil worshiping and learning about satanic rituals and all that. Being a Satanist is different.
Yeah. So I'll probably take a little drive down that to find out a little bit more about it. I used to look into it. Where I grew up, there was a bunch of devil worshipers. They were into it. I don't even know what they were doing. I just kind of stayed away from it. But I remember a kid in my class was all into it, and they had kind of like a devil church.
Really?
Yeah, kind of like thing. It was way in the boondocks. I think I told you the story about how they had that hanging rock, and they would put their scepters up against it, and it was supposed to be receive charge from the moon. And they had them all leaning up against this rock, and they thought charged it. And we went out there one time and started, bucking with it, and we knocked the rods over, and somebody came running out of the woods, and they had a truck, and they chased us out of there.
Didn't they have a mask on?
Their goat head, yeah.
Didn't
So I don't know what the whole connection was, but yeah, they had goat heads and they had staves, and so I don't know what that was all about.
I wouldn't stick around to find out.
Didn't a couple people get murdered in Logan at one point?
Yeah,
and who was that did that?
How it came out, that's why it was kind of scary, because we knew that there were devil worshipers up in them hills. It's kind of where it was. It's kind of like any horror movie, or in my hometown where you had the hills and the fog is over it, and we knew the devil worshipers were up there.
Scary.
And then 2 teenagers disappeared. They were dismembered, and then I remember the story come out that their bodies parts were buried in the shape of a pentagram, and so that's initially what they thought. And apparently some Hell's Angels motorcycle group had ridden through town that week, and so they thought that it was just a sacrifice.
Was that true? Did they find the bodies in the pentagram shape?
That's what they had said. That was the story. Now, I had left town when they had I was gone by the time they actually resolved it. They wound up locking up the father-in-law for a little while because he was a butcher, and they thought that's how he was so easily dismembering the body parts, because they found their heads floating down the river.
Oh, my.
And I remember some kids that I knew from another part of town, they actually discovered the body parts. They were ramping their bikes over these little dirt mounds, and they ramped over one, and a leg kicked out of it. And they're like, what the hell? And then, that's how it was discovered.
That's not a bike ramp. That's a body.
That's a leg, yeah. That's a leg. Yeah, so that's how that went down. So, yeah, and then I remember the story because after I'd left town, what had happened was these 2 guys, I think they're like whacked out on whatever the drugs were, And they just saw him out walking. They murdered him, dismembered him. They were so whacked out of their minds. And people saw these two guys walking through town covered in blood. And somebody called the cops, and someone took a note down and they put it on a desk, and it got lost in the paperwork. And nobody looked into it.
Come on, Logan.
I think that's kind of what happened. So if you go back and look into the Logan murders, that's kind of what it was.
I mean, we don't even detain the guys covered in blood.
Yeah, so that's what it was. So when I was a kid, I was in like 3rd grade, it became a thing where we were a little bit scared of the devil worshipers. They stayed in the hills and you kind of stayed away from them. That's why when we went into their domain, we're like, what are we doing, man? You know, you still didn't know if they had a hand in those deaths.
To go back to old Ed Gein, it looked like he killed 2 people, and after his mom did die, that's when he really lost his mind. And because I guess she was very controlling and abusive, and then he ended up killing 2 people. He's also known to rob graves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's on the checklist of bizarre, twisted things. He's got a few things there.
Yeah, he still doesn't even come close to some of the even sicker. There's even sicker than that, Kevin.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
And I'm sure you want to tell us all the details.
I do not want to tell you about Richard Speck.
He's got what you call that murder boner going on right now.
He does.
It's growing in his pants.
He's half hard.
Half?
No, do not make it seem like I get off on murder. I do not get off on murder.
Someone's defensive.
I won't do it. Sorry, I was talking to my friend Morty.
I got Jeff here clapping back. There was a woman who gone off about men playing video games nonstop. And he said, so maybe men wouldn't need to play video games for 8 hours if we weren't subjected to having to witness middle-aged women binging The Summer I Turned Pretty. Gag.
That is kind of funny. Like, all your summers of turning pretty are behind you, but you're watching this show.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's big. And Amazon Prime Video, of course, when you got something that's winning, it's been doing very well. They said since its release on July 16th, season 3 of The Summer I Turned Pretty drew 25 million viewers from around the world through its first week.
Wow.
That's almost NFL numbers.
That's huge.
Yeah, when you think about how mainstream the NFL is in America, for them to get 25 million in a week, NFL do 30, 31 on a good game.
That's why when you hear from back in the day, some of the numbers American Idol used to put up.
They would hang around the 30 million, sometimes higher.
Yeah, I think there was at one time they were in the 40, like upper 40s.
I remember consistently they were around the 30 million mark, which is a good NFL game. And that's pretty amazing. That means that you're drawing a big crowd from different walks of life.
I kind of felt like there was a part during American Idol where they had the perfect combination. You had fucked up Paula, you had No More Dunkelman, and you had some good singers. Simon was a dick. And then, Randy Jackson, come on, dog. I think you had a good combination.
You did. It was a little magic in the beginning.
Because you never knew what Paula Abdul was going to say. There was so many awkward live moments where they're kind of play fighting. Sometimes it happens at our show. Play fighting gets kind of awkward.
Play fighting that then turns real.
Yes. And it's on live TV. And you think one's half in the bag.
They're in a groove.
The other one was such a dick.
They had a groove for a minute.
They were in a groove, absolutely. So now they're going to be doing, of course, The Summer I Turned Pretty, the movie.
Oh, you got to have the movie, Kevin.
Oh, my gosh. How annoying.
I say the story is likely going to pick up with a slightly older and wiser Belly and Conrad as they move toward the next phase in their relationship.
Well, they got your wife to wake up at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. because they said, this is the series finale. There'll be no more Belly. So come and get it. And she did. Is she at all feeling tricked because now there's going to be more?
No, she just loves it. She just flat out loves
TV.
It. She went to school, and I guess all the other teachers, they had done the same thing. They got up and.
If you love a series and you find out a movie's coming out, you're so happy. Now, if it ends shitty and then they're doing a movie, you're kind of like, all right, they're trying to fix that shitty series. But if a series ends and they're giving you a movie, you're shitting happiness, my friend.
Did she like the way that it ended in the series?
Loved it.
Loved it.
Oh, yeah. Then she's going to love a movie then.
Mm-hmm. She can't wait. I'm sure her and my daughter are going to be very excited. Well, I know she's excited. I know Caitlin is too.
It is nice when you find a program that does get you excited. Like that's how I felt when Cobra Kai first came out. The first 2 seasons, I would get giddy about them. It started getting it fell off a little bit.
It happens.
It does, but it is nice to find a program that you're like, fuck yeah, a new episode.
A couple other shows that got extensions. Apple TV has confirmed a 5th season of The Morning Show. And they just launched season 4. I think that dropped last night. So I don't know if anybody's seen that, but I'm excited. That's a solid show. Very
you do like that one.
It's decent. Yeah, it's very good. I would put it for me. It's not necessarily in the love category, but I really like it. It's a strong show. I put it as a solid B for me and worth the watch.
I was going to watch that, but I think I'm delving into Hacks instead.
Okay. Yeah.
I really like the first episode, and I like where it's going. I think I'm going to end up liking that show.
Hacks is a solid B to almost an A for me. It's probably about where The Morning Show is. Very solid show, though. Can't go wrong with it. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, they're going to come back. They're producing. They're a part of it. They have won 4 Emmy Awards and have received 27 nominations. And you see what happened just at the Emmys with, what is it, The Studio?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch that one soon, too. But
is that the Seth Rogen?
Yeah. I think a lot of these movie guys, they just, it's almost like the Emmys has that kind of cachet for them now. It almost feels like you're watching the Oscars now with how many big-time actors and actresses that were just doing movies are now saying, you know what, no, we kind of like the regularity. Imagine if you get 5 seasons out of it. You know, for them, they're moving from one project to the next where you've got to get the chemistry down of a whole new cast. And you got to learn everything. But when you get a role down and you're just like, okay, I can easily plug right into this role. And I know I've got chemistry with the people I work with. I know we got good writers and a good team. Why wouldn't you stay with it? Because you have a regular paycheck. And now the credibility that it gets, people are like going, oh my gosh, the acting in this show is amazing. It's not just the best actors are in movies anymore.
I kind of felt like that started to change when Breaking Bad came out.
Maybe,
because every episode was really shot like its own movie.
Right, yeah.
And you go, holy shit, man. Every episode had some action-packed. You know, like you were watching a movie, so why would you want to not have more of that instead of just a 2-hour movie?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, I wonder if you had to say, what is the noticeable progression from film to TV? What were those shows? I don't think it was just one.
No, I think
it was probably a sequence of 3 or 4 that, you know, where the other movie stars took notice and said, you know what, maybe I should do TV.
Sons of Anarchy, I kind of thought was around that. I mean, have you delved into that yet?
No, I've not done that. And I might one day. Just everybody knows I'm soft, and they said that might be too hard for you.
Yeah, well, there's one scene that's absolutely brutal, and I had to fast forward through it.
Okay.
Other than that, you ain't no pussy.
Yeah, I am.
He's not going to fight
I want to make sure it's on the record because I don't want anybody to challenge me. Please just leave me alone. Danielle said, and I have one more quick note to make as well. Sylvester Stallone, Tulsa King, officially renewed for a 4th season. Season 3 premieres Sunday on Paramount Plus. And I've watched a few episodes in season 1, and it was decent. I got to get back into that now that I know that thing's got good momentum. So, and I just hear really good things about how nice Sylvester Stallone is. And so I want to see him do well. And
he was doing a reality show with his family. What happened to that?
I don't know that they had the dynamic. I think he probably agreed to do it just because his daughters, he wanted to maybe elevate them to try to get the Kardashian thing. But look, I think that they put a lot of effort into the Kardashians. I don't know if Sylvester Stallone wanted to put that kind of effort into his own reality show. He's got Tulsa King, and I think that takes a lot of his focus and time. He wanted to have that.
Talk about a man who filmed the original Rocky in 28 days. They gave him 30. He got it done in 28. Rocky was set up to fail, and it did not fail. He beat the odds. The real life story really is Stallone making Rocky. He is Rocky making a movie.
I know a guy that can make a movie in 28 days, too. Cheeseburger.
Yeah. Well, he got no fucking choice.
And Universal Pictures set the date of August 6th of 2027 for the release date for a new Miami Vice film.
Wow.
It's going to be shot for IMAX and is described as exploring the glamour and corruption of mid-1980s Miami.
So we're resetting the whole thing and doing something new with Miami Vice then.
Sounds like it, and it sounds like because they did the movie that was trying to be a modernized version of it.
Whack.
And yeah, it just was another movie. It wasn't anything that was special. And so I think they're going to say, look, that and it was an era. I mean, you look at Miami now, and I don't think it's nearly the storyline of what you did have. I mean, you can find other storylines on Miami, but I mean, if you go back and look, the one that really put it in perspective for me, and actually, oddly enough, was the documentary they did on the Miami Hurricanes and their rise and the dynasty. And they did a really fantastic job with that, kind of tying in the dynamic of what was happening in the city. Cocaine Cowboys.
Yeah.
That was really
also
good.
does an amazing job of just showing you. I mean, they were bringing in refrigerator trucks in Miami because they had so many dead bodies showing up on a daily basis from the drug trade.
Damn.
And it's crazy because on YouTube, there's footage of what Miami looked like before it got built up to what it looks like now. It's insane.
Looked like Lake Worth.
It did. It looked like Lake Worth.
It's
It looked
crazy.
like it's desolate. There's not much out there.
And then
it looks
cocaine
nothing.
came in and boom. And that was the one thing they always said in Cocaine Cowboys. If you go, down Brickell, I mean, all those banks, it just was, and still holding a lot of drug money. That's what built Brickell was cocaine.
It's cool to see what people were like, though, just back then, what they were wearing, what things looked like. Mm-hmm. Different times, Virginia.
It seems like maybe with the cartels and maybe more power, it's a little bit more established, so it's not as violent. I mean, it's violent in other countries getting it here, but maybe that's why Miami's not seeing the violence. But it's still, I think I had read, $11 billion a year industry in Miami.
We've gotten peaceful when it comes to our cocaine.
Yeah. I hear you. And Danielle said, I just started hearing "Start Digging in Your Butt" twin at my kid's school. I have no idea what it means.
I'm not doing the research. Virginia's doing the research. You're going to figure out what's going on here.
We had
you have a
mentioned
kid.
it yesterday, I think.
Okay, I'll ask Rocco.
Yeah, we don't have to repeat it, so it was good. If you want to get all the story on "Digging in Your Butt" twin, just listen to yesterday. We got quite a revelation here from Cesar. He sent this in. Hot Dog Neck Kev. I think he was going on my Spotify, and I haven't really played around with Spotify for a very long time, probably about 10 years since I really kind of got in there. But I put that, he's like, what's up with the profile pic of Hot Dog Kev? I remember that's right when we had just started RMF, and I come from the gym, and I had a gig at Harborside Place, and I was having to change from my gym shirt to a button-up shirt, and I had to go do a live break, and so I was shirtless, and they came around, took a photo of me. And so that was it. He said, I'd like to present a then and now image of Kev. What is this pose you chose to use for your Apple Music? Oh, maybe that's Apple Music. Oh, I need to go change that.
You kind of got violated.
Yeah.
You're changing?
Yeah, how do we get this blown up into a building? It's quite a look. Yeah, old Hot Dog Neck Kev.
He can't help it. Mm-hmm. That's just one of them eras.
Just, one of the many eras of Kev, the many faces.
You're the one that's had the least amount of errors on the show.
Yeah, Virginia had her bangs era.
I did. Mm-hmm. I was reminded of that last night because I saw a picture from the past of the bangs.
And the only other thing I can think of is you with your purple streaks. But other than that, you've kept it pretty consistent, Sinicki.
Pretty boring. I need to shake it up more.
Okay.
Go blonde.
I'll come in here with a hot dog neck.
You will not do a fucking mohawk.
We did post a photo with your hot dog.
Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah, so that you can see. And the amazing Photoshop job. I really thought you were eating that wonker of a dog. There is the before, if you're watching KVJ TV right now. And then that was the photo. That's a great Photoshop job.
They really did a good job.
They did.
I had to look at it like, was I eating a big sausage? I forgot.
I feel like you have eaten sausages that big at games that I've been with you, but then again, I'm drinking too, so maybe I'm seeing double.
I'm not afraid of a sausage.
You're not afraid to scream just random shit out at people on a field or around the bleachers. You ever gone to a game with her? Oh my God. It's like trying to wrangle in a real pirate.
# trying to get ejected.
Remember, she was screaming at Bryce Harper, saying how I had the biggest crush on him.
He looked.
He did look.
He was like, "What is going on?"
He's like, "My brother's in love with you."
And I pointed at you.
And your voice, there weren't that many people around, so he easily heard it.
Well, you can go and find that photo on the KVJ's regular Instagram page, and you can also check out kvj.eats. We've got a new video up there I posted for Cholo Soy that you can check out. I think some people are coming from my father-in-law because he tried to call Presidente a Mexican beer, I think.
Uh-oh.
So, yep. So
It's not a Mexican beer?
No, I don't believe it is Mexican.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Yeah. But, you know, it's Spanish.
Look, rage.
It's Hispanic.
Rage comments is still engagement, my friend.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can go and see what that's all about. My daughter did an amazing job putting that video together. That is on kvj.eats. Make sure you follow and subscribe to that one as well. All right, we got a big old weekend facing us tomorrow. We'll be here for that. I hope you will too. Y'all have a good one. Goodbye.